Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and since it's Women's History Month, I'm here today to talk to you about the Bureau of Magical Things Season 2. So I briefly talked about the first episode of Season 1. I did like a review of that. Go watch that. But since then, I haven't talked about this show. The reason for that is because, well, it's been a long time since I saw season 1. I watched season 1 probably back in 2018 or 2019. And so I really forgot a lot of stuff that happened in it, like no joke. Like there's so much I forgot about it that I was only reminded when I did research on it, and then when I heard like orb power in like season 2, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, she had that because she touched it and stuff. And so because this is an Australian show, right? And I've watched season 1. It was on the Nickelodeon app because Nickelodeon, even though this is not a Nickelodeon show in America, people are able to watch it through Nickelodeon. But then they put it on Teen Nick and everything. I guess because they fear little kids might get a little too scared. Well, but it's not really scary at all. Like it's just like a family type thing. It gets a little edgy, but not really. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, it's no longer on the app. And plus, that app sucks so much. And so, I was unable to rewatch the entire, like, season. So, but then they have it on Netflix. But of course, I don't have Netflix no more. And so, I think it's on Paramount Plus. But I don't have Paramount Plus. So, I was unable to rewatch the first season. So, I'm unable to do, like, a rundown review. Because I really don't remember much about it. But I've been waiting for the longest time for like season 2 to come out, right? And well, it finally had got renewed like years ago for a second season. So I was thrilled. But then a problem happened in 2019. The you know what virus. And that slowed down things hugely. So huge that season 2 finally got done wrapping in 2020 or 2021. I think it was 2020. And so because they had to do like a lot of delays and they had to like shut down production and everything and like different locations because they had like restriction laws and stuff. And so then finally the second season came out in 2021. However, I was unable to watch it because it's an Australian show and no longer on Nickelodeon. So I've been waiting for it to come to like America. And it finally did. But when it came to America, I don't think it's on Netflix. It's only on Paramount Plus. I'm like, crap, dude. Like, I'm supposed to watch this and everything. You know what I'm saying? And then a miracle happened. Like a couple of days ago or last week, I was looking on YouTube and somebody uploaded it on YouTube. So huzzah! So now I'm finally able to watch it. And I finally finished it and everything. And season 2 was pretty good. I can't compare it to season 1 because I don't remember what happened in season 1. But this one is very intriguing and very interesting. It gets really edgy and stuff, you know, because there's a huge mystery. And then when the mystery's kind of revealed, it's kind of like, whoa, wasn't expecting that. Now, just like the first season, there are a couple of filler episodes. So it starts off pretty juicy. Then you get to like the fillery stuff to like reintroduce us to like characters from first season and new characters in season 2. The new characters are nice additions. They don't like overstay their welcome. They're not like crammed into the show. Every episode's not about them. So they have a nice blend, a nice flow and everything. And I like that because sometimes when you introduce new characters, they just take over the show and that gets like annoying. But they're a nice addition. And I hope they'll come back for season 3 if there's a season 3, because the way season 2 ended, it kind of wrapped everything up in a nice little bow. Now, part of the ending upset me a little bit because I'm like, no, don't do that. Like, I don't want to see that. Plus, it was really rushed, like really rushed, and they probably rushed it because of like you know what virus and stuff. And so, like, it fell a little flat towards the end, especially like the big, like, overarching bad thing. But it was all right nonetheless. It's just if this is the last season, then wrapping everything up was the best idea. And so let's get into a couple of characters and what they did this season and stuff, and then I'll get into like what season two was about and the things I liked. Oh wait, before I get into like characters, there are 20 episodes this season, just like last season, so that's good. But with 20 episodes, I was expecting a bit more. We get to learn a lot more about like you know the magical world and everything like that, but it's only once again told to us and we really don't get to see it, so that's quite a shame. Also, we get the when we learn more about the magical world, we learn more about elves. Like I always wonder what exactly is their purpose and everything, and same thing with fairies, because we learn with fairies they go on tooth runs, so basically like a tooth fairy thing, but we never see it, we're just only told that. And I always wonder what's the point in having these elves and stuff. Well, apparently they do like prank magic. They pull pranks on like humans or something like that. And which is kind of weird because they don't want their magic known to the world. So why pull pranks on them? But of course, the humans can't see the magic happening. But at the same time, we never get to see them pull pranks on nobody. The only time we really get to see this is like when Lily and Imogen are like arguing about their powers and they decide they're gonna try to learn each other powers and stuff. And the thing about like pranking magic, you have to be like edgy and stuff. So I wonder how Imogen's brother is able to do that when he's so nice and stuff, you know? So it would have been nice to explore this a little bit more because fairies have the ability to pass through like objects and stuff, which is something I never knew, but it's nice to explain that more. And yeah, we get to see that and stuff. So it's kind of like, you know, we have this, like, this is the thing. This could literally be on part with The Worst Witch, Harry Potter, something like that, you know? But it's more like Wizards of Waverly Place, which is fine. But, you know, I kind of wanted this big, epic thing. Maybe they had, like, more money. Maybe they were allowed to go more edgy or dark, maybe, and stuff. But who knows, you know? Now, the CGI is really good, except for that giant snake thing and that fake water. I don't know, I just wasn't feeling that, but it was all right. But yeah, let's get into characters now. Lily, the fairy, who is my all-time favorite this season, man. The way the actress like work her facial expressions in her squeaky little voice is just too adorable, man. I don't know who's my favorite from first season because I don't remember. I do like Lily from the first, and I do like Kara and stuff. But Lily this season is just too great. You know what I'm saying? So she's a fairy. She does tooth runs for like the tooth fairy type thing. She's really happy, really joyful, and you know, really sweet and down to earth. And so like her story arc this season is that like she has a crush on a human boy. This is probably like the first time that's ever happened. And apparently, when a fairy has a crush on a human, they turn orange for some reason. And so she's like having to like hide and stuff like that and try to calm herself down. But it doesn't happen to Risky. So I don't know why it's happening to her. But so then there's an episode because like the guy she likes, she has to keep a secret that, you know, she's a fairy. And at one point in time, this bug bites her and the bug causes people to tell the truth. So she starts telling him this and telling him that. And then so they have to like fake it so he doesn't like think that magic's real. And then so she realizes and tells him, you want somebody who's honest, but I can't date you until like, you know, I can be 100% honest with you. So that totally sucks because she really likes him and stuff. So let's get into that guy. Ben, he's a human, he's a singer. Peter like discovered him one day and lets him like, sing at like, well, he sings at Talia's like restaurant that she runs and stuff like that, or work at. And so basically there's no real story arc with him. Like I just explained it mostly with the Lily. He just sings a lot. There's one time she used magic to make his music video more popular than what it was, and everybody who listened to his song just basically went like nuts for him. He became like a superstar like overnight. Peter, he works for the bureau and everything, and he's human. He knew Kyra since like they was like 5 or 4. In this season, he's dating. Now, I thought they kept saying Ruby, but online her name is Sareski or something like that. And he's dating her, which I don't remember those two dating in the last season. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. I don't remember. They altered his glasses so he can see magical things. And so his story arc this season, he's still helping out. And I like how sometimes he'll like save the day or how he'll mess up. It's not like other magic stuff where the human will save the day in some weird kind of way. At least he had like a magical object. So that was kind of cool, you know what I'm saying? However, one time he didn't have enough time to study for a test, so he asked Rusky to use like her magic, and she's kind of like, no, that's like cheating, and don't be using me for my magic. Well, he ends up putting on a magical suit that gives him super speed, right? It's a tux. And so when he did that, somehow magic also awakened the like supervillain of like that tuxedo. So apparently it's kind of like a James Bond type thing, right? Where this magical person had a scuba diving suit and tried to attack the person who wears the tuxedo. So he's ripping and running like fast because he's stuck inside the like magic school. And so this like submarine type suit just keeps trying to like attack him, and he's finally able to escape and get Kara to help him. And so when Resky found this out, she is like furious and everything. She's all like, she told him don't be messing with magic, like he doesn't have the right to use it and blah 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 blah. And he just thinks this is all fun and games. And she breaks up with him. And it really hurt him and stuff. And she was adamant about that breakup. So let's get into her. So Sareski, she has a bigger role this season. I don't remember her having a big role last season. I don't even remember her saying much. But yeah, this season she has a much bigger role. And she's the fairy, of course. She doesn't go on tooth runs. But she's just like Lily, but she's more serious about things. And like very serious about things. And so like I told you, when they broke up and everything, they broke up for like a good long time, and then he kept trying to like get back with her and stuff, and she wasn't having it. And then they finally was able to have like a heart to heart, and she tells him like, she likes him because she needed his help to get, like, she was stuck because this one character put her inside like a newspaper or something like that. And so he had to like help out, and so they have a heart to heart, and she tells him, like, I really liked you, but you really screwed up and everything. Well, and later on towards the season, he ends up saving her life, and at one point they get back together. And so I forget what she does after she graduates, but yeah, those two are like back together and stuff. Imogen, she is an elf, and this season she has spiky hair instead of short hair, so she looks more like an elf with the spiky hair. She's very sassy, she's very rude, she hates fairies, she hates trialings and everything, and she doesn't like Kyra in the first season. But this season she changes a lot. She's a lot nicer, a bit more gentle. She still has her sass, but she's still slightly nicer than last season. She likes Kara now. She doesn't hate fairies as much, and she doesn't hate humans as much. And she's a real team player in this season. This season, she's been tasked with like finding a person who keeps making these mural paintings and making them come alive with magic. And when she finds the person, It's another fairy. And she doesn't even tell the team that, hey, I found the person who's doing this and everything. And you can tell there's something between these two. Like, they always asking, is this person okay? Or can I help this person? Something like that. You can tell they have like feelings for each other, but the show doesn't act on it. They just remain friends, but you can tell they like crushing on each other. And so, like, she helps out a lot with the mystery that's going on this season. Talia, I think that's her name. She is the one that Imogen crushes on and one who's making the magic come alive when she paints the picture. They find out that she's a fairy, and they also find out she's had no training. She's literally a prodigy who has taught herself. When Imogen is talking to her one day and tracks her down to her house, she realizes something. Her mom is human. Therefore, Talia is a no, Taylor. Taylor, that's it. Taylor is a halfling. She's half human, half fairy. Her dad left her and stuff. Her mom knows about fairies and it was really hard and stuff like that. She doesn't join the magical school, but she does interact with the cast a lot and she helps out every now and then. She works at like this restaurant that's like on a boat. And so like she's a really nice addition to the show and she really helps out when the team really needs her and stuff. In one episode, when they are trying to teach her some stuff, she messes with a mirror she wasn't supposed to touch. And so it made a duplicate of her, and an evil one at that. So the evil duplicate starts imprisoning everybody in like pictures and park benches and anything that has like a picture to it. And so they have to like stop her and stuff. Dara is the brother of Imogen. That's so hard to say. And he's like the real brother of the actress and everything, which is neat. Like I kept saying the last name, was just like, could it be? And yes, it is. Now originally they wasn't supposed to be related in the show. They auditioned at separate times, and then once they both got the gig, they decided to make them brother and sister, just like they are in real life. He's crushing on Carr big time this season, but his father, he wants to impress him because his father wants him to like work for him and do this, and he doesn't want to do that, but he wants to impress him. So he finds kind of like this old treasure map type thing. He goes looking for like a lost temple tomb type thing. And this is what causes the huge mystery in the season. And so Kyra gets affected by this. So he's helping her out in secret as much as possible, which causes the events to occur. And so like it's pretty much like doomsday for everybody. And he even gets her like a gift for like her birthday, but he doesn't know what to get her because but he'll do like anything to help her out and everything. Professor Maxwell, he's still the teacher there and everything until he gets fired. See, something happened with Kyra and the other students, and he took the blame for it. So he didn't want Kyra to get in trouble because she's a trialing, and their people don't like trialings and stuff. And so, like, he gets replaced, but he's still helping out in secret. Now, her name I can't pronounce. Dr. Apina, I think that's how you say it. She is the teacher who takes over for Maxwell. She also knew him growing up. And so, she's very strict. She doesn't even want Peter in the magical school because he's a human. And so the other students, they try to get like used to her and everything. And she tells Kyra, I'll help you out in a way I can. Well, she ends up like pushing Kyra to her limit. So I'm like, something's up with her. I'm like, no, don't do the same thing y'all did first season. And then they do. But then it's a huge twist on another twist. And then it's like, whoa, I did not see that coming. But yeah, so you really don't know really what to expect from her because she ends up betraying Kyra, but then it turns out she's working for the DMI, like a rogue operation and everything on a secret mission, but she's actually trying to help. So, like, let's get into Kyra this season because it will explain a whole lot more. Now, Kyra is a triling. A triling is 3 different species. They're human, elf, and fairy. Normally, they are known right now to be like a mistake, kind of. Basically, 2 human parents somehow makes one. But it turns out she was actually born that because her father is a triling when she finds out later in this season. And so, like, she still has her orb magic from, like, from last season, which I forgot she had. Also, when it comes to trialing, she mostly just does elf type magic. She doesn't really do some of the stuff that she did last season that makes a trialing, which I don't know why they took that out the show. She's supposed to be able to talk to animals. She's supposed to have super speed and telekinetic powers, but all that got taken away. The super speed would have came in handy when Peter had his own super speed for that one episode. So basically, it's her, Imogen, and Lily. They're having like a sleepover. And something happened. I forget how she teleports there. I think she was thinking of Dara. And because he's in, where is he at? He's somewhere in China. Bangkok, I think, or something like that. He's looking for that, like I said, that ancient thing. Somehow she gets teleported there. And so somehow this magic kind of gets like absorbed to her and something gets like awoken. And they find this magical object, a key, along with like a journal that he has and stuff like that. But they're being chased by these adults and everything, these adult fairies. And it's like, what the world is going on? And they're really chasing after them. Like, it's like, whoa, this is getting good. And so when they go back, something is going on with her, but she doesn't want him to tell. Because somehow the magical object, it kind of like calls out to her a little bit. So they want to know what's really going on. So they constantly are now like trying to track the whereabouts of the rest of the keys. There are 3. And so it turns out that there was this trialing called, what is the name? Madness. And so they had this device, a magical device that can go back in time. So they go back in time to get the rest of his journal and stuff. And so I think part of it's missing in the future. So when he finds out that Dara is like an elf, he doesn't like it. He only likes trilings and everything. Turns out trilings are prosecuted. They are like lower class of elves and fairies, and elves and fairies hate them to death, to the point where they basically massacred them all and ran them out of extinction. Like, I think Kara might be the only trialing that is left like alive, other than that of her father and stuff. Like, they literally hunted those people down and everything. So when she's talking to him and she's trying to find out the whereabouts of the keys, she tells him that, you failed in the future, you didn't find them all, and blah, 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 blah. And he is letting her in on some stuff that's more the mystery of this season. And so he just wants to get rid of like fairies and elves and stuff like that. Seeing how he's a little too crazy, they go back into the future and we don't see him again until later. And so she's still looking for the rest of the keys. And then so she goes to this statue that's literally like a snake. And it's literally calling out to her and stuff. And so when they find like the second key, somehow the snake comes alive and it follows them in their little portals thing that they transport. So this is what causes Professor Maxwell to get fired, because it took a lot to like make that snake go away, but mostly I think it was her because it just responds to her. And so for jeopardizing their lives and everything, he gets fired and takes the blame. So now everybody's hoping to help her like discover the rest of the keys, this and that. This is when Pena is really pushing her, because every time Kara is in trance and the keys are like illuminating and everything, she's able to see visions. And so Pena is really, 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 really pushing her and everything. And so Kara sees this hooded figure. And so Apina, like, forces her to use her orb magic. And like she made like this type of like these balls that are evil, try to like swarm them and everything so she can use her magic to bring on like, the visions. And the person in the cloak turns out to be Kyra and everything. And so literally on like her birthday and everything, because her friend Matilda gave her like a surprise birthday party and everything. Oh, by the way, Matilda had like a magic thing that granted her wishes, and she knew about magic but didn't know what the world's going on. So Rusky had to like wipe her mind and stuff like that. So anyway, on her birthday, she gets a picture of her mom and her dad and a necklace. And the necklace has like a trilene symbol in the snake. And her mom is wearing that. It turns out that her dad was a trilene and everything. But they kept it secret, and that's why he left. So there's a mystery going on with that was set up for season 3, if they get a season 3. So anyways, they're trying to like, find the last key, even though they really shouldn't, and all this other stuff. And so basically it turns out that Apina is working, like I said, for a rogue operation of the DMI. They was tasked with finding the keys. The guys that she worked with are tired of waiting. They still did the 2 keys, but then Kyra gets like the 3rd. When she does, she awakens like, the giant snake thing. And so her orb magic is the key to what this thing needs. It turns out that Apina is trying to prevent the purple lotus from being activated. The purple lotus turns out to be a device that the Trilines made to absorb all the fairy and elf magic in the world and stuff, so they can just be normal humans. And so only Trilines will have the power. And so as they're trying to like fight it, they're trying to use all the magic they can, even shadow magic, and nothing will stop this thing. It is literally growing and everything, absorbing all their magic. So they have to go back in time to figure out how to stop this thing. And when they do, they get caught by like madness. She pretends like to betray them and everything. And so like it's determined with the blueprints they have that you have to stop it from within. So she gathers all her friends and they make the distraction for the snake. And so they're fighting it. And Peter's able to get like a good blow on it with this magical shield. She goes inside like the giant flower lotus, and it's like some really good CGI, right? With all this magical stuff. Now, this is where it starts to fall a little flat, because the way she's able to defeat the snake and defeat the lotus and everything, we never really get to see. It basically just explodes because she absorbs this and that, and she tells everybody she has her orb magic back and all this other stuff. I wish it could have been more climactic, but they probably couldn't because of, virus and stuff like that. And they probably didn't have the budget. Now, the problem is, when all the magic was being absorbed, it caused the fairies and stuff to use their magic unwillingly and everything. And they were making stuff come alive. And same thing with some elves and everything. So humans got to see magic. So not Imogen, but Lily's all like, well, we can't mind wipe the entire world, so what do we do? So Kyra suggests that just let it be, like let humans know there's magic in the world. A month passes by, and humans, elves, halflings, and fairies and all them, they're all just getting along now. And I'm just like, after a month, like you'd think there'd be some confusion. You'd think some humans would be kind of like, yo man, stay away from me. But no, everybody's getting along. So everybody like kumbaya. And it just happened a little too rushed in my opinion. And I kind of wish there was more conflict. Because humans aren't going to be okay with magical people living among them for like centuries. And also the whole point of the DMI and the Magic Bureau thing is to prevent magic from like being seen in the world. Like the thing about Lily and Maxwell in them school and stuff is that they go out looking for magical objects that have escaped and bringing them back and recapturing them and stuff. Kind of like a Fantastic Beasts type thing. So this totally defeats the purpose of what the show is supposed to be about and their magic abilities and stuff. And so everybody now has like graduated from the school and they're going their own separate ways and everything. And it's like, but then Kyra's gonna go with her stepfather and go look for her biological father in Japan and stuff. And it just ends. And I'm just kind of like, okay, you ended on a nice note in case you don't get picked up for a third season. I can respect that, but the ending was just so rushed. I don't like how people now know about magic. But if this is truly be the end of the show, then okay, fine. But if it gets picked up, I want to see some conflict. I want to see humans not liking the magical world and trying to get rid of them and stuff. Because everybody is okay with it. Ben's okay with it. Matilda's okay with it. Her stepfather is okay with it. Like everybody is okay with it, and it's just that would never happen and stuff. And I don't really like how it ended on that nice note. If they're gonna get picked up, so I'm hoping there's some conflict and everything. But what really would season 3 be about? They all went their separate ways. Now, of course, they're gonna reunite and everything, but now there's no more school. They have now graduated from it. Magical items could still get out in the world, but people seem to be okay with that now. And so it defeats the purpose. And there's no point for the DMI because there's no point. And so I don't want to see this show end, but if it does, then I'm okay with the ending. But if it gets picked up, then that ending bugs the crap out of me, you know? And it was nice to see, like, actually, it was nice to be told more about like the magical world, but it would have been nice to see it and everything. It would have been nice to have a flashback of like Trilines getting prosecuted, but they had to keep this like, on a PG level for kids. Now we did get to see like some type of Olympic sport they have where the schools compete with one another, but there's this one bratty girl who lied on Kara and said that she used her Trilene magic, and you're only allowed to use one magic at a time, so they lost and everything after how they cheated like so many times and stuff. The other team, that is, not Kyra's team. And so it's nice to see like a little magical like Olympics type thing, and because this show's about magic, and we have to see more magic. Sometimes you see more like the human world and stuff. Happy Women's History Month, everybody. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.